Yeah, hello and welcome to the Banter Blitz show. Right, yeah, this is the English language one. Let's get started and play some games. That looks odd, yeah. Where on earth do I have to go? I cannot really navigate this stuff. Here we are. And let's play the first game against. I will go with the oldest challenge. This one. And I'm too stupid to click. This is a problem. Here we go. 1d4 against Arkidamo. I hope you're all fine. This is a bit of an odd time to do this show. I rarely do shows at noon. But here we go, noon Central European time. I'm not sure where you're watching from. It might be actually very much feasible to watch that if you are in the United States or somewhere else in the Americas. Arkidamo is not playing. That's not good. He was in the chat a while ago. Okay, if you are around, just do it again and I will happily play you. Now, playing Teja here. E4 now. And I should actually fire up the chats. And once I have everything set up, I can also talk about other things. For example, that this is probably... oops, let's take this. This is a Banter Blitz show, but we have seen the greatest Banter Blitz event ever yesterday, yeah, with Magnus playing Alireza Firouzja. I'm not sure if I'm spoiling results here. I don't know. People will ask me anyway what I think about it. So nothing. Probably, I'm probably doing nothing bad by saying that it was a fantastically exciting event, and I think really the only thing that was for me, as I remember, close in tension was the candidates 2013. When it was between Magnus and Kramnik in the final round. Of course, that's a different kind of event. Yeah, I mean, the Banter Blitz Cup is not comparable to the candidates, which I had this flashback of excitement somehow, that how tense it was, and also tremendously, in this case, entertaining. Okay. Yeah, hello also to the Facebook chat. There was something going on there. Okay, now there's a message in the chat here by Arkidamo that he's on now. So just put out the challenge again, and I'm happy to play you. We have only played once before, I think. So I'm happy to do that. Yeah, here I wonder if I'm not simply winning this bishop with f5 next. The bishop has no squares. The only thing that is a bit puzzling here is my king on e1. So this could prove to be a problem, but still a piece is a piece. Now Teja is trying to drum up some idea, some counterplay. Yeah, there's a message. It's 12 in the morning in South Africa. Yes, it's the same time zone. I think usually it is the same time zone. I'm not sure about daylight savings time in South Africa, but we share the same time usually. Yeah, Teja is not finding anything, I guess. My king position is a bit shaky on e1, but yeah, he doesn't really have the pieces out to do much about it. So f5, and now what? Yeah, he just takes there. You could have Yeah, bishop b4. I can simply take the bishop, so I'm going to take here. And the only thing is I cannot castle. Both sides are currently impossible. But I can play queen to f3 here, right? This looks like a good move to me. Queen b7, not mate, but close to, is the idea. And this means I think black should and has to trade queens, which should be the end of my king position problems. Yeah, he has to trade queens, I believe. Oh, no. Yeah, after the queen trade, I'm a piece up for 2 pawns and I have a good development. Thanks for the game, Teja. So let's play Aquidamo. He was the first challenger in line. Going d4 and see what he does. Okay, what am I doing against that? I wonder if I play knight bd2 first or rook e1. I think rook e1 is correct. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is an interesting way to play, but it usually should not lead to all that much. It looks a bit dangerous, like I'm pressurized here on h2, but the way to do it is usually to play like this. At least that's what I do. And this way you get rid of this weird configuration here on the king side. And from here, it should only be black basically backpedaling. H3, why not? I can do that, right? He was threatening rook d2, so there's the question. But first of all, let me see, can I take the pawn on e5? Maybe rook d2, yeah. I mean, g4 also wins a piece, but I wonder if this is already on. Take. G4, knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes g4, and yeah, he's got ideas there with capturing on d2 and giving me more checks here. Yeah, it's not entirely clear, at least to me. Anyway, I have good other ways to play. I spent too much time actually on this, given that this is not a difficult move to play. Okay, now g4. There is no way for him to sacrifice now, and now the queen is in big trouble. Yeah, winning the house. That's a full rook. Yeah, thanks for the game, Aquidamo. It went downhill quickly. So okay, so let me see. I want to check if there's somebody new. Yeah, there's a new opponent who I've never played before. I always prefer those opponents giving people the opportunity to play, but in particular I like to do that if I'm on at a somewhat unusual time, because there might be an entirely different group of people watching who on other time slots are unable to do so. So let's see what happens here against Jaco. Checking here. Yeah, there's a question in the Twitch chat. How do you improve your opening? Do you read books or remember database? Of course, there are many different ways that you can go about that. You can still use print books. I yeah, quite obviously would recommend to use Chessable. I'm working for Chessable and writing courses for them using the spaced repetition. So the software or the website actually helps you to learn the opening by showing you your mistakes, get those positions that are tricky to you on the board over and over again. This is yeah, I think a very good way to do it, but there are many approaches. What I did a lot also to improve the opening indirectly in a way is to try to find players that you like in terms of their playing style, in terms of their positions that they handle well, and model the openings that you play after them. So you, for example, I'm just saying, because that was the blueprint for my course that you still see in the picture here, the Fight Like Magnus course, when I took all the games by Magnus Carlsen in the Sicilian, and then I built up an opening repertoire for that opening course based on that. So let's say you want to learn the Sicilian Sveshnikov, you check all Magnus's games and the whole games, I mean, not just the first couple of moves, and then you have a much better understanding how the positions go, how the game develops in this kind of opening. And then you just not only learn the first moves, but actually how it continues from there. And that's obviously super valuable. Just like learning by heart a couple of moves, okay. But at some point you have to play chess, and then you should better know how the middle game is played. Okay. There's a question in the Chess24 chat about the Banter Blitz Cup. And Teja says he never saw Magnus being so nervous and low on time and not able to think. Yeah, I mean, this is the genius part of this format. Yeah, you have the players in real time giving information about their state of mind. And you really saw that Magnus wasn't... I don't know, it's very hard to say. I'm not, I think this is very interesting probably for someone who's well versed in psychology, what was going on there. Yeah. He was, I think the first game was kind of relevant. Yeah, Magnus had, I think a pretty good position, and nothing winning or so, but it was a good position. And then Alireza found this really cool trick with Queen F4 and so on, and that was shaking him a little bit. And you don't know. I mean, I think it's so difficult to judge. The dynamic of such a short time control is there, and you sometimes just don't feel it. I think this is probably applying. And that's what I take from this match also. It doesn't only apply for normal persons, even for Magnus, that you sometimes don't have this kind of focus that you need or whatever it is. And one thing that is pretty clear is that Alireza is so tremendously resourceful. Yeah, and sometimes you think, oh my God, how is he finding all those quick tactical things in split seconds? Yeah, I think Magnus expected a tough match, definitely, but it was just so it was so tense. Yeah, amazing. It was an amazing thing to watch. I didn't have the opportunity yet to watch from Alireza's perspective. This also would be interesting to learn how he experienced this, which makes it even more fun that you have more than one take on it. You can actually watch it more than once. You can watch it live, which is a different kind of thing, of course, than watching a recording ultimately, but because you don't know how it will turn out. but it's still cool that you can see a different perspective. Okay, now in this game, I think I'm slowly making a bit of headway because my opponent has allowed me this b5 c4 business, which gives more space to my pieces. I think before he was very okay. I mean, white is still okay here, but I think I'm getting a little something. Yeah, that's true. There's a remark in the Twitch chat that Magnus's facial expression looked like he felt kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a psychologist at all, and I really don't like to make any conclusions. If you, I think there are just nowadays too many people in general, yeah, giving opinion about stuff that they have no clue about. So I really try to avoid that if possible. So I'm not trying to be a hobby psychologist there, but I agree. For what I witnessed was he felt uncomfortable somehow. Okay, I don't really have all that much here. Yeah. Very good play by white. I have absolutely nothing. I'm rather a little bit worse, actually. But he spent ages getting there. My pawn structure is a bit of a problem, but okay. You have to... Oh, I missed that one. Ooh. King and pawn ending could be very problematic. Could also be a draw. I mean, I will win on time is the problem, but... I mean, as Magnus famously said, we're not in the charity business. If you are really so slow, you lose on time. It happens to me all the time. Yeah, yeah, of course, that's true. I mean, if you decide to never talk about things that, that you have no clue about, nobody would say anything. But, you know, I don't want to... let's play against Dorina here. Demeter Dorina, new opponent. Yeah, I don't want to make any psychological deep conclusions about whatever body language and things like that. But I think one thing is absolutely clear, that in this format, the 3-0, yeah, where you don't really have time to for deep thinking. Much of it is about instincts and like quickly making an assessment about things. And what I felt was like Magnus was somehow not feeling it, yeah, and he had many wrong assessments by his own account. I mean, it's not that when I'm watching this, I see all kinds of things that he doesn't see, but this is the Banter format, yeah. He often said like, oh, I missed that, I didn't see that, and things like that. And this is the thing. Yeah, you have to be very, very quick in your assessments, and he didn't have this. Yeah, he didn't have that somehow, and then you're kind of doubting yourself. And we know from some earlier events that he is prone to being shaken. If somehow things don't go his way, he's a little bit vulnerable. We saw that, for example, in the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz last year, when he didn't have a good start and somehow couldn't get this thing around. Yeah. Okay, so in this game we have a complicated position out of G6, 1G6 opening. Interesting. Oh, F4 is a sharp move. I'm surprised about that because I felt that opening the long diagonal for my bishop should be favorable for me. I mean, not like I'm better, but now the bishop looks strong on that diagonal. Really does. I could probably take on F4. Yeah. Yeah, I can take that, right? Why not? This is a pin. A pinning problem. PPP, pinning problem. And this one. One thing that I was thinking about last in that match yesterday was about the time control. In the earlier matches, I was always thinking that the best time control would be to have a small increment, like 1 second, 3 + 1, and I'm still on that page. I think that would be better probably. But on the other hand, you don't have those kind of things happening when Magnus got to the checkmate with 0.2 seconds on the clock. That was a fantastic moment when he was basically high-fiving himself after doing it. I can take this, right? Why not? The long diagonal here is just extremely strong. Oh, queen e6, absolutely. Yeah, I should stop that. I got rook f8 though here, right? Yeah, she missed that, I guess. Now, is there a mate? I can take, and then the bishop has to capture. I have a check on e1, but that's not mate. Queen f5 check. It's also not a mate, I think. Maybe I have no mate. Okay. I'm also a lot ahead on the clock. Yeah, I will win on time this game, but I also have lots of extra pawns. Thanks for the game, Dorina. I think f4 is really questionable here, honestly. Opening up that bishop. If you like maybe put something on e4 in this position, I don't know, my bishop will not be happy. Okay, so let's continue and see who is on. Darth Carter something. Let's go here. I'm not playing. It's not playing Darth Carter. I'm going to give him still a couple of seconds to do it. Okay. Again, there's always a later challenge. Is there? Let me check. Mr. Neil. Haven't played him before, so why not? Okay, going c5 here in that Nimzo Indian. A couple of interesting ways to play against knight f3. You can go d5 also for the Rogozin. Okay, probably queen a5, right? I think it can only be good if there's an interesting rivalry coming up. It's also, I think that, let me check this for a moment, knight e4 here, right? Well, I mean, Magnus is playing fantastic chess, yeah? Also in 2019 he had a fantastic year, but I think as real as it sounds, that if he has a even stronger competitor, it can push him to do even more and be better. And of course, if you look at Firouzja's play, he's 16 years old. That's a fantastically high level that he is at already. And yeah, we can look forward to many interesting clashes. Also, in some way contrasting of styles. Magnus has this universal style, but it's still in some way classical. And Alireza is a little bit more, I'm not sure what the right word is. More daring, maybe. I don't know what the right word is. Okay, go back, closing the position here with d5. I don't mind that all that much. I don't know. I think I don't wait. If I go bishop d7, well, that's not a problem. Knight takes e5 was something that I just witnessed. That's not true. I think Magnus on 90% still beats everybody, but he wasn't on 90% yesterday. It was lower than that, quite substantially lower. I mean, you have to see that he lost this match yesterday, but I mean, if you take like a random, let's say someone who's like, I'm not sure who is at that position right now, like take a random number 10 in the world, number 12, and so on. He crushes these people mercilessly. I mean, they have zero chance. And the problem is that the Alireza is just better than those people already in that format. He's clearly not number 15 or 20 or something in the in a 3.0 3+0 time control. Yeah, this went down rather quickly, but this queen g5 wasn't a good idea. So a queen is a queen. Deep insights here. No, I think white was completely okay here, but queen g5, this is the beginning of a wrong idea, because now knight f4 is already a bit looming, and then knight h4, knight f4. Now white is in trouble. There's all kinds of things going on. The queen has no squares, really, our only bad squares. Okay, thanks for the game, Mr. Neil. Now, who else is on? Brent Master. Okay, many new guys here. That's fun. Yeah, but I mean, after a great match is before great matches, of course, and we have the Magnus Invitational coming up, which is also something to look forward to. When do they start? It's Saturday, right? I think it's on Saturday. That will be fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, there will be definitely some black repertoires coming your way from me. I mean, if you, I mean, I've written Fight Like Magnus. It's a black repertoire on the Sicilian, and it probably doesn't fit the keep it simple approach that much, simply because the Sveshnikov is not really the most obvious choice if you want simplicity. And I've written the e4, e5 based on Fabiano course on Chessable, the one that features the Petrov defense. But there are other things planned for sure, but not like just around the corner, because I'm currently working on something else entirely, not even an opening course. And I think I'm mentioning this now for quite a while on my shows, that I'm working on such repertoire, and I cannot really tell you what it is, on such a product, let's say, not a repertoire. And I cannot tell you what it is, but I think you will learn relatively soon what it is. So maybe. Yeah, I thought about that, but I could just have a3, right? I can also take b7. Yeah, but this is simple. I mean, just play this. I can just go back. That made no sense. I completely ignored the fact that he can go back. Yeah, I just thought like knight d5, I take, I win c7. Okay. Give me the pawn. Yes, Firouzja is playing in the Magnus Invitational, and that was, of course, a good call. Yeah, now I can take here, right? Always have to check that on the end. Okay, I can take on c6. That the knight is not trapped at the end of such a sequence. That could happen if you are not observant. I think Magnus is playing Alireza on Monday, next Monday, if I'm not mistaken. The first round, Magnus is playing Hikaru, which is also a fantastic matchup. Yeah, thanks for playing Brent Master, if I'm doing this right. The pronunciation, I mean. Now, anybody new on Dino66? Maybe let's play. Oops, this connection is currently not stable. I should play I'm white. Yeah, classic mistake. Like, why is this guy not playing? Oh, I'm white. Maybe I should make a move. Fantastic. Yeah, it's early on. So we got the Dutch stone wall. I really have to watch the videos that Magnus did on this opening. I want a better insight, because I would just, my usual take it is just a bad opening. And I mean, bad is strong, but not good, let's say. And quite obviously the world champion has a better insight. Yeah, but that doesn't do much, you know. Oh, okay. So if I take, he will take with the pawn. Take with the pawn. Kind of has to, right? Bishop takes, there's f3. Well, that wins a piece. And taking with the pawn, oh, okay. Yeah, this is either a blunder or some completely genius idea. Okay. And now I even have this fantastic eternal square on e5. Just wonder, yeah, maybe do this first to prevent queen g5. And now put this on that fantastic square. I should think of rook b3 h3, yeah? That could be an idea. I would like to play king f2 and get the king out of there. Actually, now I spot I can do that. I can go to e3. This is actually a pretty good square for the king. Just put it to e3. Yeah, that's good. Let's go here. And then bishop f3. If he gives a check here on g3. My king is perfectly safe there. You still have to worry a little bit with this play on the g file if you have the king somewhere here on h1, g1 and so on. And now it's perfectly safe on e3. And in fact, I'm coming with rook h1. Yeah, it was a good call, I think. No. Yeah, probably queen d1 to e1 and then get the queen in the mix as well. Oh, he's hanging on here. Okay, thanks for the game, Dino 66. Okay, now I need to unclick. Wow, Orest Vovk has a really high rating now. Hey, you did good, Orest, huh? And I got black again. I always have black against him. Yeah, I'm playing this g4 business. Let's see if he does again. Oops. Somehow I always have black against, so this is crazy. And now he's not playing. That's not good. What's going on here, Orest? It was in the chat just a minute ago, I think. Or 5 minutes ago. No. But it just challenged me again. I'm happy to play, in particular with black. So let's play Kenny. No, there's a question in the Twitch chat. If I am as strong as Jan is. No, I'm not. Like if you want a rough comparison, Jan is if you look at the German ranking, for example, in classical chess, he's the number 2, I think, 2, 3, something like that. It's kind of fluctuating, but definitely one of the top German players. And I'm roughly number 100. 100. Again, it's up and down a couple of places, but I think this is a good way to compare. Okay, I think he's got some issues here with pins. And I'm pinning here on that diagonal a4 to the king. It looks a little bit shaky, the position. In particular, as there is the bishop on f5, so there's no bishop d7. So sometimes you can break such a pin with bishop d7, but here it is on f5, so I don't really see how he's breaking this pin at all. Yeah, there's a good question in the chat here on Chess24. If I'm preparing for my match against Alina Kashninskaya, I'm definitely doing that. Yeah. I will have a match coming Monday against one of the top female players. I'm not sure what she is ranked, like top 20 or so. And this will not be on Chess24, but on a different site. And I will definitely be preparing for that match, but mostly over the coming weekend. Not right now. This is part of an event that is done by chess.com. So I mean, I don't want to talk about this for hours because you know, this show is not on chess.com that we're currently doing, but it was a question in the chat, so I want to address it. And I mean, I asked Chess24; they have no issue in me playing that event, but still, good job here by Kenny, by the way. I think he's doing fine. Rook b2 is an enormously annoying thing. I don't know how to play this. This one? Good play by him. This show started 45 minutes ago and it will still be on for roughly 45 minutes. I'm doing the warm-up basically for a cool show, I think. We have the first ever Banter Blitz by the number 3 player, I think, in the world, Ding Liren from China. Great stuff. I mean, this is so great what we experience nowadays. Yeah, you can watch fantastic events. You have all those shows coming. It's really great. Okay, what's happening here? Rook b1. I have no time. This is a real issue. I'm not sure here. What's happening? Am I losing? Take this. Am I missing something? I have a time problem, of course. That is absolutely clear. I only have 17 seconds, which is a real issue. Oh, that was helpful. I mean, it will take some moves now, but I can do many pre-moves now. Ah, come on. It took too long. Come on. What's my mouse doing here? Like 3 more moves. He definitely deserved that. He definitely deserved that. Having a really good defense there after the somewhat bad opening, which I didn't exploit somehow. Okay, good stuff, Kenny. So where are we going with this? Pablo, and that's cool. Cool chair. Here, let's do this. Playing Fabi. And this is also a reminder of me, for me, telling you that Caruana is also doing a Banter Blitz show. I'm not sure. This is tomorrow, I think. Let me check. It's somewhere in the list already. Tomorrow evening hours. Yeah. If you want to stay on top of those shows, it's really a good idea. You can, of course, what on earth? You can, of course, look at the channels like YouTube or YouTube or Twitch and so on, and subscribe. But it's actually, in my mind, easiest if you simply go into the Chess24 website and then you have an overview of all of the shows, because they have a shows tab, and then you get information about all of the scheduled stuff. This is how I do it, at least, because I watch a lot of those shows, and for me, I'm losing track simply because there's so many good things coming, and it's just good to have an overview. Okay, so here I'm just going to complete development and claim that I have some pressure against the e-pawn. Maybe this is not as relevant. We'll see. Might have knight b4. It's a good square for the knight in some way, but oftentimes not so easy to assess. The knight on b4 has this eternal spot, can never be driven away from that square. On the other hand, it doesn't attack anything, and therefore looks can be deceiving. You think it's very well positioned, but it doesn't do much. Still, my b2 pawn is also not looking very strong at the moment. Not sure what it's ever going to do. Yeah, here I would like to put more pressure on the e-pawn. Okay, this changes things. He's just moving it and says, okay, I'm rather having those weak pawns with the potential to play d5. This is probably a reasonable decision. Not an easy one, but it looks reasonable to me. The question is, can he play d5, or yeah, he basically claims he can, but we'll see. Maybe he can take with the knight even. That's nah, probably bishop e5 is good for white. I mean, pawn takes, rook e8. There is some shakiness to this, to the center. Let's say pawn takes, rook e8, queen e8, bishop a6. Yeah, I will win d5 at the end of the sequence. That's what I was thinking. It's maybe not entirely clear, because at the end of lines the bishop on g7 might pick up b2. So, yeah, he can take with the knight. This is not like Yeah, but okay, it's I can take, I can also knight takes, I can also play knight takes if I like. Okay, so here it's easy. I mean, not easy in the way that I'm easily winning or so, but my decision is easy. I have to take, and I will snatch that pawn. Otherwise, I don't quite have a point in my play, so grab the pawn. I'm not certain that it is such a clear affair. Yeah, I have to take. One important point is everything is with check. So knight takes is a check. Okay, this looks better than taking, I mean. And now, what to do? I can take and check on b3. Queen f7. Yeah, but at the end of this line, yeah, that's very difficult, huh? It's very difficult to win. At the end of this line, the b2 pawn is hanging. I can cover it, but okay, let's do this. It's a very simple way to play, and it's kind of a percentage play, because here I keep the pawn and I might have some winning chances, but they are slim, quite clearly. I just hope I'm not completely assessing this wrong, and he's actually playing for a win. It's something that just occurred to me. Yeah, that's actually true. He should have played c4 before. That would have been even better. Yeah, here at least I cannot lose, I believe. And I might have... maybe. No, I probably don't have slim winning chances. I'm a natural optimist, but even for my standards, probably no way to win. You can just put the king on e6 and stay put. But let's have him do that first, and then I can offer a draw maybe. I have the right color for that bishop. That is not bad. Yeah, king to f5 is just a draw. Yep. All right, thanks for the game, Fabi. So, you know, one instructive moment. I think here, if I'm not mistaken, I think black has compensation here anyway. Yeah, if you look at this, I can retreat with the knight. Yeah, but where exactly? Yeah, I mean, for example, if I go here, you can, amongst others, think about taking when I have to take with a pawn. It's probably not even the best move, but I think black has compensation with the two bishops, and the way I played is absolutely nothing. And in particular here, if you think here, he could have played c4, and here, I mean, you know, you could try to use the active king. I think I have no winning chances whatsoever. There's a Twitch comment, flag him. I mean, yeah, I might have, could have tried, but I'm not really this kind of player. In particular because, I mean, this costs time. I could flag him, and it takes like 2 minutes, and the 2 minutes are better spent with playing other people. This is the purpose of these shows. So Orest here playing h6 and g5. Okay. Let's attack the pawns there. Oh, that's interesting. So I take, and then what? Takes on d4. That looks risky. So let's develop. I honestly don't mind flagging in very drawish positions. If, let's say, I've got 20 seconds and the other guy has got 3, because that only takes a couple of seconds to finish. But I'm not spending 2 minutes of showtime on a couple of rating points, if I get them at all. It's the other thing. I'm not so quick anyway. So this is a kind of a reversed grop, yes. And one thing is probably sure. This is a position that in the whole history of chess never, ever, ever, ever was on the board. This is also something to acknowledge. So I'm just opening this up. I have a hard time in believing this for black. How to play this? I think probably here. Queen d6. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to trade queens in this position all that much. I don't quite see a great square for it, right? I can go to e2, but he's got bishop g4 and will castle long. It's not helping all that much. He's gotten away with his wacky opening. This is not fantastic for black or anything, but it's also not lost. So what here? What to do here? I should be quicker simply. I mean, I'm a rating underdog in that match, funny enough, so I don't even, if I just want to get some points, I can just make a draw, yeah. But this is a bit, it's not what you probably want. Well, it's a bit awkward now for him. Where do you go? I can take and put the rook to d6 is the thing. Okay, not now. His next move is probably rook g8 in this position. Come on, quicker. Quicker. $34 is not good. To do a little bit less commentary because I have this time issue, but now he's spending a bit of time, which is good news. First making sure nothing happens on the queen side, and then I can switch my attention to the other side of the board. Now he cannot defend both pawns, so I'm winning, I think, but okay, the time is actually now favorable for me. So just take it and back here. Not the best play, but by now I'm relying on the time. Yeah, so I won on time. Yeah, I really have a bit of an issue if it's very low time and I have no increment. I'm getting really nervous, and I'm just like, okay, let's win on time there. Okay, thanks for playing Orest. But still, I think I should review this bloody opening somehow. Okay, I'm not going to analyze this, but it looks strange, let's say. Now, we have a couple of challenges, and I want to check if there's somebody on here that I never played before. It could be, because it's a super long list. Let's play Dengelmann. I wish all of you good luck in challenging Ding Liren later. He will be on in 1 hour. Dengelmann. Okay, maybe E6. Going for the London. Playing this classical setup with d5, c5, e6. This is an opening line that really has seen a complete explosion, like in recent years, in terms of analysis. It was a total backwater years ago. Nobody really cared about this opening, and nowadays it's a really interesting way to play. Bishop b5 is an interesting move here instead of bishop d3, but this is of course a viable main line. Here white is often playing queen e2 or e4. e4, yeah, bishop e7 is how it is played. And now e5 is answered with knight h5. That's a very complicated position. The bad news for me is it looks a lot like a French defense, and I'm notoriously bad playing the French defense. So let's see. The capture I didn't really mind that. So is knight h5 still a move? I think it is, because he has no way to preserve his bishop. And I'm happy to get the bishop pair. Let's get rid of this first. Maybe taking on c6, but it's probably not a good sacrifice. Okay. Well, this position is quite open. Huh. He's lining up for bishop d3 and maybe knight to b3. Maybe this one. Having an eye on the pawn. And b3, bishop f6 is definitely good for black. Okay, so bishop f6. It's not easy for him to cover that pawn. I see no really desirable move to do it. I mean, knight b1, that's not what you want to do. Okay, so after bishop c3 he wants to take on h7. Okay, g6 makes sense anyway. Okay, now what to do? Is he going to go c4 here? Maybe. Yeah, c4. I go d4, I guess. It's still, I think it's what he should do. If the d5 pawn moves in some way, probably again forward to d4, then at least he gets the e4 square. Playing bishop e4 or knight e4. That is definitely helping white in some way. I'm happy with my position, but he has to do that. Oh, interesting. That I did not expect to happen. So I'm not quite sure what it does. This is the thing. Maybe he thought that a4 on my end was a threat. So, yeah, again. You know, if you have the bishop pair, as I tend to say, it always feels like having good money in the bank. You can be a little bit more confident about the future if you have it. What are my thoughts on the postponement of the Bundesliga? You mean the chess Bundesliga, or I guess you refer to the chess one? Is there news on that? I haven't read anything. Or heard anything. I mean, I just know, of course, that everything is kind of on hold, but similarly to the league that I'm playing in, the third league, the highest league in the state, it is just postponed without any new scheduled time, and there's no news on that. Okay, I think I have to go f5. Having white playing f5 is not a good thing. And now again I'm looking at the pawn on c3. White can play knight e5, but that would, yeah, possible, but definitely not an ideal structure either. I think I'm going to take and play d4. Because he does not have a good move at the moment. Yeah, exactly, he has to do this. And then knight takes is an important tempo. But pawn takes is also a good idea. And then knight b4 maybe. Yeah, that also makes a whole lot of sense. Knight b4. And then rook c8, c3. So I got good targets here. b3 is a target, and the pawn itself could be dangerous. Yeah, this is just a good check for me, yeah, for free. That's mate, isn't it? Yeah, check. Well, this is mate, right? I don't think he could have done anything against it. There's an opening request for me to play 1b3 in the next white game. Yeah, thanks for the game, Dengelmann. I could do that. Is there a challenge where I have white? It's kind of random, I guess. Have I ever played this one? Random guy, white. I'm not sure. Do I have white or he has white? He's got white. And I wasn't sure about that. I can go 1b6 if this is a kind of compensation for the 1b3. 1b6 is not great against e4 and d4. Okay. So this is kind of playable. What about the Gata opening? The hippo. Yeah, kind of. The hippo has kind of, it has this kind of predictability. If you play this with black, and I normally don't do that, but if you play this with black, you kind of know that you're going to be worse, and you don't expect much from your life. It's kind of, can be probably soothing in some way. You know, we knew all along that it would suck. Yeah, maybe this has some advantages. Okay, now what do I actually do now? I cannot just shuffle around. This looks funky. Trying to provoke white into doing something so that I know what to do, because I always feel I have no clue what to do in this position. Okay, so e5 for a terrible King's Indian. It really looks like a terrible King's Indian. With this queenside configuration, this is the kind of don't try this at home chess. Yeah, Gata definitely knows how to do this. I cannot. No, I'm not going to play the hippo in that in that chess.com tournament. This is what I can tell you. I'm not going to do that. If results really matter, I wouldn't play stuff like that. I just have to queen d8. I just have to kind of reorganize my position. Okay, a5. Yeah, he's not going to play b5, but rather take. And then white is better again in this kind of King's Indian position. This is also a good move. What book am I currently reading? A good question. I'm not reading this book yet, but I got it in the mail yesterday. Back. I got this one. Looking forward to that. Donner was an amazingly interesting and controversial character, and his biography will be interesting to read for sure. No, I'm not not feeling guilty for not reading all the books you bought. I think you cannot do that. Well, what you can do, and I think this is something to appreciate, be conscious about what you buy in some way. Like do you really need the book? Will you read it? Things like that. And in some cases, if you're honest to yourself, you know, okay, you're never ever going to read a particular book, and then it can make sense to not buy it in the first place. Yeah, in this position, I have developed a great strategy for this game, and it is to not blunder material and wait until he loses on time, because he takes an awful long time for his moves. Yeah, the advice that I just gave, don't buy anything, is of course a little bit odd by someone who writes chess books. So don't buy books, but buy mine. It's the best kind of advice. Why didn't I come with that earlier? Yeah, Benz Larsen's best books is fantastic. Best games book is fantastic. One of my favorite books, really. I have made a repertoire that Fight Like Magnus that is based on Magnus's black repertoire in the Sicilian. So it is not written by him, it's fully written by me. What we did is we sent it to Team Magnus and Peter Heine Nielsen and maybe Magnus himself. I don't know. I'm not so much into this. I know that Peter Heine checked it, and he thought it was a good product. So it was important, of course, an important endorsement for me. Peter Heine is long-standing coach of Magnus and an opening specialist, of course. So it was a good thing to learn that he liked it. Okay, now why not a Bobby Fischer Black Sicilian repertoire? I mean, you can definitely also argue for a repertoire based on the Naidoo, of course. Sure, the Naidoo is a great line, absolutely. I mean, you definitely cannot recommend all the lines that Fischer played, because that is like a million years ago, and some of the lines that he played are just not good by modern standards, but that is normal. So I'm winning e5, right? Let's win that pawn. My position looks fine. I just have this odd rook on a5. The rook oddity. What happens? Rook a8. Okay, let me stop the d pawn. I win on time. I didn't even register. Okay, now what about the time? I have to be a little bit aware there. I got a challenge here by Russian Beast. Let's play Russian Beast. This is scary. A scary name. Oh. The Rossolimo. Yeah. There's a question in the chat if there's a book about typical positions with the typical piece constellations. Yeah, this is what I keep mentioning. That's the Chess Structures book by Rio. by Rios. Mauricio Flores Rios. Yeah, that is the one. Ugh. Happy to advertise a good book. This one. It's really good. Yeah, you can get it on in a print version and on Chessable, and I think both work well. There's a recommendation in the chat called Stellungsbeurteilung und Plan, which means position assessment and planning by Karpov. Well, it's clearly not written by Karpov, but it's I think it's also a it's collaboration, right? There's somebody, isn't that also with Mazukovic or somebody like that? But anyway, Karpov never wrote a chess book. He's on many covers of chess books, but never wrote one. Anyway, I wanted to say that I don't know that book. But what you have to generally see is that most modern books really are quite a bit better than the older ones. So a book like the one by Rios is really, from modern standards, excellent. I mean, it is all engine checked. It has all the modern, let's say, all the modern developments in there. So I cannot really tell you about the book that was mentioned because I don't have that. I probably had it as a kid because I bought lots of stuff at the time, but I don't want to make a recommendation or a negative opinion if I don't know the book, the specific book. But many modern books are a lot better than the older ones. Okay, I have to focus there. I completely forgot that my opponent is actually very strong. I just was like chatting along and didn't pay much attention. Knight e5 is what he wants to do. Guess. That could be a bad decision. Yeah. This is not good, of course. Maybe I have enough counterplay there. Okay, that was strong. Yeah, that was strong. No, okay, that was a good game, I think, by White. Somewhere here, I think I probably have to start to improve. I don't think I'm substantially worse in this position. Tough, no? I mean, probably I'm a little bit worse. The structure looks a bit favorable for white. Okay, now, only very little time. I will go for a quick 3-minute game against Chess M2, so that I'm not going over my time all that much. I don't know, maybe they need a little bit more time. To set up Ding's stream. The show is over actually after this game. The repertoire book, the Magnus thing, is about the Sveshnikov, but also features all the possible deviations. So it's a full repertoire against 1e4. So it has the c3 Sicilian and the closed Sicilian and stuff. That was very relaxed, yeah. My queen has very little squares, but enough squares. Somebody, there's a bit of a chat here going on Twitch, that in some way Alireza came off as arrogant somehow in the match yesterday. I did not watch his stream or his any interview or anything like that, but I just want to state one thing, and this is quite I think psychologically relevant. If you want to beat arguably the best player in history, and it's only between Magnus and Kasparov. Anyway, don't do this discussion. But if you want to play a true, almost like living legend of chess, you cannot sit there and think, oh my God, he's so strong, he's so strong, he's so strong. You have to believe honestly that you're the better player and win this thing. It's just absolutely not possible to be humble or whatever in this kind of situation. If you want to beat the absolute best, you have to believe that you're better even if that's not true. Otherwise, you have no chance whatsoever. And if he's got this attitude, he can become world champion. If he doesn't have it and it's like me, no chance. All right, now you can also be too nice a guy, you know, that is a thing. I mean, this is, for example, something that I sometimes feel with, for example, Ding. If you watch his interviews, he's such a nice, friendly person that you think, oh my God, how can he ever beat somebody? Yeah, I mean, he's fantastically strong, but that is usually not the mindset of someone who becomes a world champion. Usually not. You can of course mention Vichy, yeah? He's also a perfectly nice guy and very humble, but still, it's not the usual thing. It's not the usual thing. I don't think Chess24 should be down. There's a message there. Okay, now I'm out for knight f2. Ah, that's costly. Yeah, thanks for the game. Chess M2. That was a pretty quick game. Thanks for playing Chess M2. And again, it's like from here 29 minutes until Ding Lorenz's Banter Blitz show. It's going to be on the same channel, yeah, if you are on YouTube or Twitch. And again, if you want an overview of all the exciting things happening initiated by Chess24, you should definitely also go into the web page, because there is this maybe you can see that. If you don't, can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. You know, you see, you get this really nice overview here of all the shows coming up in the various languages. You have the filter like English, German, and so on. I have filtered out only Russians. I don't think we have Russian shows on, but you can filter here. It's really a nice overview. Let's say you only want the German shows, then you get only the German shows, and so on. It's really, I think, better to use than what you do on YouTube or Twitch. Of course that works, but here you have a really nice overview and see what's happening. Like here, Banter Blitz with Ding in 28 minutes. So, okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll be on, I'm not sure when. I'm probably not doing that much during the Magnus Carlsen Invitational Tournament, because the whole schedule is packed. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's some of this on YouTube for sure. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm out. I don't want to block the channel for Ding. Bye bye guys.